Junior Jewels, I'm Carly.
And I'm Jess, and we are the hosts of Typical Tuesday Night,
a Taylor Swift podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the Typical Tuesday Night podcast. I'm Carly.
And I'm Jess.
Woohoo. And we are in our Chiefs gear.
We are.
We are ready for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Oh. And did you know what you did? You threw up a 2.
We are
repping.
Guys, we know something you don't. Just
oh my gosh. I wish. The literal death that I would just die.
I don't know if I wish. I think I would combust of like
not being able to say something.
It's like too big of a secret.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know how people. Can you imagine like being on her team and like knowing all of the secrets?
But I feel like it would feel different if I was like on Taylor's team.
Yeah,
because it would feel more kind of like my job.
Talk
and, like we
to
would
people
like,
at work.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but
we really went for a tangent there.
Yeah, right. For real.
We're repping our Chiefs.
Yes, we're in our Chiefs
because it's Super Bowl week.
Go Travis.
Go Taylor's boyfriend.
Yeah, for real.
Taylor is making her second Super Bowl appearance, and we are here for it.
We are very here for it.
And
very, very here for it.
This Super Bowl is going to be very interesting. I mean, it's crazy that, obviously that the Chiefs are going for a three-peat, which has never been done before. But also, it is a repeat of the Chiefs, the first of the three-peat against the Eagles, because that's when he played against Jason.
That's right.
And it's the Eagles, which is Taylor's family's other team.
Yeah. So crazy.
And so it's kind of cool that like the universe like provided
Taylor with what she wanted.
Provided Taylor to like experience that game that she didn't experience the first time.
That's true.
This time.
There you go. I love it.
Tay Voodoo.
It's real.
And
it's a real thing.
Another fun fact. She did I guess that like if you're on YouTube you'll see me do this, but she did like the three-peat pose.
Oh, I didn't.
At Miami when she performed and when she did Midnight Rain. To like, because the Super Bowl's in Miami.
Yes.
To like manifest, So we'll see if it works.
With her witchery.
It helped get them there. We'll see if it helps them win.
She can do anything.
I know.
She can make it. If she wants them to win, they will win.
And what's she gonna wear? We're just like, this is a tangent.
For real though. I don't know, but I am so excited to see it. Because I think we talked about this on Patreon. I wonder if she's superstitious about anything, because we talked about how she wore the same skirt to the AFC Championship both times.
That she wore last year.
Do you think she has one of those same superstitions for something she wore last year?
Maybe. I think if we see something like that for the Super Bowl, it will be more accessory related.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Than like a main piece of her outfit. But I would love if she wore those pants again.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, those pants were incredible.
I'm obsessed
the
with
whole
those
look
pants.
was incredible.
Yeah. The ponytail.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait to see what she wears.
I always love seeing what she decides on.
So fun. Anyways.
And bring it back to what we're going
to talk about. We're continuing on with our Midnights series.
Yeah.
And this is just episode 2.
It's so cool though, too. Last week, so many people were excited that we were doing Midnights, which was fun.
It was.
And it was cool to see there was quite a few people that were like, this is when I became like a really big fan, like a really big Swiftie. And so I think that's really nostalgic for a lot of people too. And so I'm excited.
So fun. Yeah. Because we I think we've said before, like we really had a hard time like deciding what our next series would be. So like here you guys are excited about Midnights. Just makes us so happy. So today, the second part of it's like Midnight's Everything You Need to Know.
Yeah.
This is like a song overview. We do episodes later that like deep dive into the songs. This is like an overview,
like a good
of
overview,
all
like
of them.
Fun facts, things you should know about the songs.
Yeah.
We've said this a couple times already. Don't forget, we're on YouTube. If that's your vibe.
If you don't know, we're on YouTube.
It's fun.
Wait, did we say?
Wait, we're on YouTube?
We're on YouTube.
Have you seen our cool studio? You know what we're wearing right now?
We're wearing our Chiefs gear. We're repping our Chiefs gear.
Hold up a peace sign.
too.
Wow, we
Whatever
were
that
on
means.
one tonight.
We are.
It's a good time. Everybody gets it. So yeah, if you want to find us, we're just at Typical Tuesday Night Podcast on YouTube. But it's fun, and we like insert fun little things, and it's cool to like see us.
Yeah.
So I like it.
We're cool. We're cool to look at it. Honestly, though, it's really funny to see some of like our reactions to stuff.
Yes.
I don't know. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. We also wanted to remind everybody about Haler Night coming up on February 8th. So if you are local to Salt Lake City, you should come join us at Haler Night.
It's this Saturday.
That's so crazy. It like came up so quick.
I know. Come hang out with us.
Love Haler Night.
It's so fun.
I get so excited for it every time it comes around. It's just like playing Taylor Swift music, One Direction, Harry Styles, and we just like get to dress up in like Eras Tour-esque clothes.
Yes.
And dance with like other Swifties.
It fills a hole in my heart.
It really does. It's like if you are missing the Eras Tour, go to Haler Night.
Yeah.
Like it's the closest thing I feel like to it.
Ricky, the DJ, he's going to be touring. This is local to Salt Lake now, but he's going to be doing a tour. So if you're not local to us,
he's amazing.
Hopefully he'll be coming to a city close to you soon.
Yep. You can use code Haler18, so Haler18, to get $18 tickets.
Yeah.
So if you haven't bought your ticket yet, do that for a discount.
Please come and dance with us. Yes. It's so fun.
So fun.
Okay. So to start us off, this is usually we do like a review or something. This one is like a little bit different. It's from our Patreon chat. Someone just kind of sent like a discussion topic and it kind of fits in a little bit with some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. So we thought it'd be fun to do this. So this is from Julissa. And I'm just going to read her whole message.
Okay.
So she said, I loved your Midnights episode. I have so many theories about Midnights and don't have anyone to share them with.
And that's why you come to Patreon.
Yeah. So here I go. That's exactly what we want over there. She said, first off, I've always believed Slut and I Can See You were supposed to be on Midnights and both were about Matty. Wow, that's interesting about Slut.
Well, it's interesting too because wasn't there rumors that like Matty collaborated on Slut?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so she's saying like that is also about Matty is very interesting to me.
Oh, yeah.
But it kind of fits that timeline of back in like 2014.
Yeah, because when they like Matty actually like said he revealed that he collaborated with her for Midnights, but his collaboration didn't make the cut. He said, we actually worked a bit on that, but then the version of it never came out. It was for reasons that are not to be criticized. She's amazing. And obviously that was said like not recently.
That was said. I think that was said like shortly after Midnights came out.
So like when they were hanging out.
Like it's so interesting to me to be like, it just makes a lot of Tortured Poets timeline. And I think we had mentioned this, I don't know where, or maybe on Patreon, but we talked about the new like Matty Healy timeline.
Yeah.
Of like when she wrote some of these songs and how we think it is actually in December.
Yeah.
If she was writing songs with Matty Healy for Midnights,
that was
before then. It kind of fits.
It
that
does.
Like she would be ready in December to write songs about leaving Joe to go to Matty.
Yeah. Especially if like
thing is wild to me.
Especially if like because I feel like fresh out the slammer, we get the idea that like her and Joe were struggling. Yeah. Maybe they took a break through the summer. They tried to get back together and like the fall, winter, it wasn't working out. They finally decided to break up. And like during the summer, pre-Midnights releasing, maybe her and Matty were working together on Midnights. Fresh out the slammer.
He sent her Downtown Lights.
Yeah.
Because they're working like you don't just randomly send that to somebody. I feel like that was because they were in communication for a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Crazy. Okay. Continuing on with the message. And I could totally see I Can See You being about him.
Oh, 100%.
Wait, because don't we usually say like it's about Taylor Lautner?
I've heard a few different.
Because that doesn't feel like a Taylor Lautner song.
No, it doesn't.
It's kind of fun to like think of them in that like context.
Yes.
But also like just doesn't.
It just doesn't fit his vibe. I can't remember. There is another person. Who is it? The name has totally left me. And we'll talk about this when we do 1989. Or Speak Now. Wow, sorry. Yeah. There's somebody else too, though, that people think it's about. But I could totally see it being about Matty.
Yeah. So she continues on to say, but since Joe and her were probably still trying to work things out, she didn't feel like it was appropriate to put on the Midnight album, which totally makes sense.
Yeah.
She said, my biggest takeaway of Midnights is that she was very on and off with Joe, and as her way of coping, she was flying between London and New York. New York, she was in the studio with Jack trying to work out her feelings through music, and who else was working with Jack there? Mr. 1975.
I love how she says that.
That's
too.
so
Mr.
funny.
1975.
Yes. And who would not be happy about this? Joe, of course. And that would lead Joe to dislike Jack Antonoff, kind of blaming him for encouraging the hookup. Because he did. I remember saying that, or hearing that, like, Jack totally shipped them and, like, thought that they were a good match.
Like, even when...
Like, encouraged it. Like, have heard that before.
Oh. I'm curious if Joe doesn't like Jack.
I bet he doesn't. Well, and obviously from our folklore deep dive, obviously Jack doesn't love Joe.
I totally forgot about that. Like, if you guys haven't listened, especially like the Long Pond.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about, if you just watch Long Pond Studios and watch Jack's face. Anytime they talk about Joe.
Yeah.
It is like, oh, you do not hide your feelings.
No. Jack definitely was not a Joe fan.
No. Oh my gosh.
And then she said, Joe, of course, and that would lead Joe to dislike Jack, kind of blaming him for encouraging the hookup. I think they even made more music together when Taylor was fighting. But once Taylor would go back to Joe, she would later reconsider using those songs, which makes sense. I think Slut may have been a spiteful song for something Joe may have called her for messing with Matty behind his back.
I was like, whoa.
Also,
could you imagine?
No.
That, like, I mean, we don't know, right? We don't know what any of these songs are about.
But really, when you think about the lyrics of Slut, it fits the, like, Matty narrative so much of, like, I don't care about what anyone thinks. And, like...
That's true, because, like, what... Like, who do we think?
No one approved of them.
Yeah.
And, like, just very... I just feel like a lot of things about their relationship seemed, like, fast-paced and just, like, really, like, highest of highs and lowest of lows.
Yeah, yeah.
And so...
Which is absolutely Matty.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like you get that vibe with, like, Harry Styles, which is kind of how I've always felt that was kind of the era of Slut. But, like, people didn't hate her and Harry Styles together.
No. Got Love Struck went straight to my head. Got Love Sick all over my bed. Love to Think You'll Never Forget. We'll pay the price, I guess. But if I'm all dressed up, they might as well be looking at us. Which, like, makes me think of, like, the couple of times they, like, went out, like, when they left Electric Lady Studios together, and, like, if they call me a slut, you know, it might be worth it for once. And if I'm gonna be drunk, I might as well be drunk in love. Like, I might as well be drunk in love. I am sorry.
Oh my gosh.
That completely sounds like Matty to me.
It does. And what she's saying, too, is she thinks the song was a midnight song.
Yeah. Which I think it totally sounds like a midnight song.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay, continue.
There's a decently long message, but this is so fun. Also, I can see Maroon playing this out even more clearly with the first verse about dancing with someone in New York, Matty, and the second verse of standing hollow-eyed in the hallway. How the hell did we lose sight of us again? as her returning to Joe and having to give up Matty again. I think there was so much back and forth in her love life during this time. Curious to hear your thoughts. Well, we gave them.
Well, here they are. It is interesting too, because I have never thought of Maroon as being about like two different people.
Yeah.
Like verse 1 being about her and Matty kind of hooking up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then verse 2, she's back in London with Joe and being like, we've lost sight of us. Like we're not on a good path.
I need to listen to that song immediately.
Yeah. I've always just pictured it as one. And like, we don't know.
But yeah, I think she was
But it's a really cool idea.
For sure. And I think she's super right. I think the whole like end of Joe, like probably all of Midnights came out in 2022. Like all of 2022 was probably just like super back and forth. Yeah. I think she was in a horrible place with Joe. I think she saw a little bit like grass is greener on the other side with Matty.
Yeah.
But like still wasn't like ready to like give up Joe. And there was just like so much back and forth. And then finally cut the cord, got with Matty, and then he dropped her like a freaking rock.
Boo.
Boo. Matty Healy, boo.
Yeah.
Mr. 1975 is way too like cool of a name to give him.
It's true. Yeah.
He doesn't deserve it. Just kidding.
I love when she said that though. That was great.
Oh my gosh.
That was fun though. But it's cool too. I love that she like sent that in and I had so many thoughts. I was like, we're just going to talk about this on the podcast. But it was cool to see there was a lot of other people commenting their own thoughts too in Patreon.
Yeah.
So
I love that about Patreon. Yeah. I feel like we haven't mentioned Patreon in a hot second.
It's true. We haven't.
Some of our favorite episodes are on Patreon.
Yes.
They're very just like
candid,
chatting,
chill,
very casual
like,
and very
all the current stuff.
Yeah, unfiltered.
All the clowning. Yeah.
That honestly felt like the type of discussion we would have on Patreon. Yeah. So $5 a month, you get 2 bonus episodes.
Yep. And access to the group chat. So
yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to start now with the Midnight Song. So we're just going to go through each song, kind of chat about our thoughts, but really just go through everything you need to know about these songs, and then we'll deep dive into like the actual song and what they mean later. That's coming. So first song on the album is Lavender Haze. So this is about her 6-year relationship with Joe Alwyn, kind of like ignoring the rumors, the tabloid stuff to like protect a real relationship. She said she first heard the phrase while watching Mad Men, and upon looking into it, she realized it was commonly used in the 1950s to describe being in love. So I think that's kind of how that all like
ties together.
But she said, quote, like, if you were in the lavender haze, then that meant that you were in that all-encompassing love glow. And I thought that was really beautiful. And I guess theoretically, when you're in the lavender haze, you'll do anything to stay there and not let people bring you down off that cloud. And I think a lot of people have to deal with this now, not just like public figures, because we live in the era of social media. And if the world finds out that you're in love with somebody, they're going to weigh in on it. Like my relationship for 6 years, we've had to dodge weird rumors, tabloid stuff, and we just ignore it. And so this song is about the act of ignoring that stuff to protect the real stuff. I hope you guys like it. So totally works. So this is heartbreaking. I kind of mentioned this last episode, but she did upload an Instagram video basically saying that, like describing what the song was about, and then she deleted it after her and Joe broke up. So
it's like a big
deal. It makes me sad because she doesn't delete. Oh, I mean, I guess she did right before Rhett.
Yeah,
but
she like wiped.
Yeah,
everything.
Exactly. It wasn't just like a particular
thing.
Yes, exactly. This was the album's second single, and it peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Global 200. We kind of talked about this a little bit last week, but Soundwave wrote the initial track in 15 minutes. He just was like experimenting with different sounds. He hit a button by accident and like played a voice memo that Sweet, whoever that, some other artist, had sent him. It was like a recording of his roommate singing like wordless melodies, like over these like chords. And Jack was like in the same room and was like, wait, like this is so cool. And so then Jack's like, we have to send this to Taylor. Like, could you imagine being like, hey, we have to send your track to Taylor Swift. She would love this. What? So they sent it to Taylor.
The way that they work is so crazy.
Oh, it's wild to me. It's so cool.
Not to like throw you off with another tangent, but there was Don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure it was Chris Martin from Coldplay. Is that his name? Pretty sure it was him. He said about Taylor Swift. Him or someone else said about Taylor Swift recently, if she had 3 extra hours in the day, that it would probably like eliminate her need for like producers and stuff because she would just figure out she moves at such a fast pace in her writing process that she would just be like, I'm not waiting for you guys, like I'll just figure it out and do it. Isn't that crazy?
I love that quote.
He's a huge like producer and person in the industry, and so for him to say that is crazy. Like if she just had 3 extra hours in the day, she wouldn't be sleeping.
No, she wouldn't, not at all.
Figuring out how to do our jobs. I know.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, and like this says, they like sent it to her. She just immediately like recorded vocals and sent it back. And it was just like, how about this? And Soundwave recalled, he's like, when Jack first played like the finished track, they were like, all of our mouths were just dropped. Like Taylor took it to like a whole new place, like not anywhere where we thought it was going to be, and like totally made it her own by like creating, they called it like different pockets with throughout the song that like they had never heard. And I was like, it's so cool. It's so cool. So there was a music video on January 27th, 2023, and we will be discussing music videos later as well. And then Lavender Haze won the BMI Pop Awards for Most Performed Songs of the year 2024.
Nice.
So kind of cool.
Yeah. How do you like Lavender Haze?
I do.
Yeah.
It's not like one that I am like, oh my gosh, I love Lavender Haze.
Yeah.
But I like it. It's like, not like ever like a skip.
It.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun. Okay, next we have Maroon.
Such a good one.
Such a good one.
This one's one that I would actively sometimes like choose. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's it's like a recollection of memories of a long gone romance, which is why it kind of makes sense. Like / we get torn between like, is it Matty? Is it Harry?
Yeah.
For us,
like
those are like the one that got away kind of romances. And then obviously the connection to Red, she uses like a couple variations of, she uses maroon, burgundy, and scarlet. And then some possible connections it could be to Jake Gyllenhaal, Harry Styles, Tom Hiddleston, Matty Healy, John Mayer, who has
I don't even know how to say this, but I thought this was so cool. Synesthesia. I should not have even tried.
Did Taylor Swift write this?
I don't know. But basically it means he sees music as color.
Oh, I've heard of that before.
Yeah, and so people are like, maybe it is about John Mayer because he sees music as color and like the song has lots of colors. I mean, I think we'll talk later about why we don't think it's John Mayer. I'm super excited
to deep dive Midnight Songs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. But I just thought that was cool.
It is cool. It also reached number 3 on the US Billboard Hot 100, and it was performed 9 times as a surprise song on the Eras Tour. Crazy. She loved that one. Crazy. She loved any opportunity to mash it up with something.
Yeah,
she loved
it.
She loved it. We love it.
Yeah, for real.
It's a great song.
It's so good. Antihero, track number 3, and she said this is one of her favorite songs that she's ever written. She said, I don't think I've delved this far into my insecurities in this detail before. I struggle a lot with the idea that my life has become unmanageably sized, and not to sound too dark, I struggle with the idea of not feeling like a person. We all hate things about ourselves, and it's all of those aspects and the things we dislike and like about ourselves that we have to come to terms with if we're going to be this person. So I like Antihero a lot because I think it's really honest. And I remember her saying like, this song is one to watch out for. Like, it's one of my favorites.
Well, and like it's one where if you just listen to it super surface level, it's fun and it's catchy, but when you like really look at it, it totally shows. Like, it's like deep.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
In the United States, it became the best-selling song of 2022 and made Taylor the first artist to have a #1 song on the radio songs chart in the 2000s, 2010s, and the 2020s decade. So cool. I know. I love that. It was the 9th chart topper on Billboard Hot 100 and spent 8 weeks at the top of that. It was the 9th most streamed song of 2023 worldwide. I was very curious what the #1 song was for that year. It was Flowers by Miley Cyrus, which 100% checked out.
For sure.
Antihero earned over 17.4 million plays in its first 24 hours on Spotify.
First 24 hours and just on Spotify.
Yes. Just that song.
That is insane.
17.4 million. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Crazy. It became the biggest opening day for a song in the platform's history. Which obviously, I can't even imagine that many. It had a music video that was released on October 21st. There are a total of 10 versions of Antihero that have been released. I remember when it was like there was a new one like every week.
There are so many Antihero and Lavender Haze remixes.
Yes.
I remember when I was in Arizona. I was at my friend's house that I was going to the opening night of the Eras tour with, and when we were getting ready, we just had Taylor Swift on shuffle,
as you do.
You know, like she told her Alexa or whatever, like play Taylor Swift, and it literally just kept playing like
all the
only
remixes.
Antihero and Lavender Haze remixes. Were like, okay, can we get a different song?
How about any Taylor except for Lavender Haze?
It's crazy how many. I didn't realize there were
10. I didn't realize it either. That's a lot.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There are a bunch of awards that it's won. It's won Music Video of the Year at the 2022 People's Choice Awards, International Hit of the Year 2022, Hit FM Music Awards 2023 Top 10 Single, iHeart Awards 2023 Song of the Year and Best Lyrics, MTV Video Music 2023 Video of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Direction, Best Pop, Best Visual Effects, Best Cinematography, and Best Video in the European MTV Awards.
I just did that the whole time.
You're just like, yes, as it should. Slow clap. It's crazy.
Shout
it was
to the queen.
Top selling song of 2023, and there were more. Those were just like the ones that I felt like
were big.
Yeah,
the biggest.
Just like, oh my gosh, Taylor.
That is
it was a huge song.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Next
we have track 4, Snow on the Beach.
Do you like this song?
Featuring Lana Del Rey. No, I don't.
I don't either. This one's a skip for me.
I prefer the clean version. I typically don't prefer the clean version.
Yeah.
This is one I do prefer. I don't know. So like I can do it with a broken heart. I feel like the lyrics are sad and the beat is like upbeat. But like, and like I like it.
Yeah.
And it feels like there's friction, but like I like the friction. I feel like it adds to it. Snow on the Beach for me, it's literally just friction. That's like not good friction for me.
You're like
I don't feel like the usage of like the F word in it.
Yeah, it just feels
helps it.
Yeah.
I feel like it detracts.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Which usually I don't, like Down Bad. I'm like, yes,
Down Bad, you need
necessary.
100%.
This one, just like it for me, I don't know. It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
I like it better when it's the clean version, but I would probably call it a skip.
Yeah, I normally skip it too.
Yeah.
So I was just curious.
Yeah. So this was inspired by the cataclysmic fated moment when you realize you're falling in love with someone at the same time as they're falling in love with you. A famous face playing the drums.
Did you know this?
Not know
yeah,
this.
I didn't either know this until I was like looking at facts.
I don't think I did. Dylan O'Brien plays the drums for
he's
the
actually
song.
We're going to talk about him a lot more.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they must have been like, I mean, I knew they were friends.
Close.
But
I wonder how she feels now with Gracie.
I know.
Awkward.
Part of me like really wants to do, this is another tangent, sorry everybody. Kind of want to do like
a deep dive on them.
Deep dive on Gracie and Dylan.
Yeah. If you don't know, a lot of Gracie's newest album, Story of Us, is about her relationship.
Well, and
with
I've
him.
even seen like how like then Sabrina sings about him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. We
you heartbreaker, Dylan. My goodness.
For reals.
And then obviously the featuring more Lana Del Rey version, which I thought was
it so much. Yeah. So fun.
But fun fact.
Oh, love it. Yes.
It snowed on the beach like a week ago in Destin, in Florida.
That's right.
Which is
so
honestly
funny.
The most ironic thing. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna say it. Tay Voodoo.
I mean, if she wants it, it's gonna happen.
It is. She totally manifested
We should put a picture though so people can see the snow.
Yeah.
Because it's wild.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Okay. Track 5. We love a good track 5.
We love track
You're on your own, kid. What do you think?
It's one of my very favorite songs.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I just I love how well it's done, especially with the reflection. And you can see her coming of age and dealing with love and her career, but also realizing how lonely she's felt for a lot of that and feeling she's on her own.
But it's also okay, fun fact, if I ever get a tattoo, it will probably have to do with this song.
Oh, okay. What would it be?
Either the initials Y-O-Y,
okay.
whatever. Or every thing you lose is a step you take or something. But it's totally it's empowering because
100%.
it feels like you're on your own, kid. You always have been, but it's more like seeing that as
you've got this,
taking your own power and you've got this. And I just gives me chills in the Eras Tour movie when she's singing it, when she sings you're on your own, kid. You always have been. She looks directly in the camera, and I'm just it gives me the biggest chills.
Well, that's what I was gonna say is it feels like she reflects back on how lonely she felt, but then by the end it's but you got it.
Yeah.
You can do this. You're on your own. You've always been that way, and look at where you got.
Yeah, you can always rely on yourself.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
The strings remix of this song was included on the CD version of the Lavender edition of this album and is not available on streaming. So kind of fun fact. You're on Your Own, Kid lasts for 3 minutes and 14 seconds, which is weird that I had to include, but 3 and 14 are my favorite numbers. So I just felt like I had to include that.
That's perfect.
This one was played at 11 Eras Tour shows.
Her other favorite. The most played surprise song.
Yeah. And this is the song that started the friendship bracelet craze.
Yeah.
So
we got this at our LA show. I know. As a surprise song.
I was so glad.
Me
this
too.
one, I love this song. So
it's
I was
so
very happy.
Iconic.
Yes, very happy with that.
Yes. Okay, next we have track 6, Midnight Rain. This is the track that starts with Taylor's voice that's manipulated into a lower pitch resembling a male voice singing. And I remember when it first came out, everyone's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Yes.
Who is this man?
For reals.
It's the man. It's Taylor.
She redressed herself up
she
the man
was like
to sing just this part.
I want to see what it feels like to sound like a man.
To sound
like a man, but also sound
5 years later.
But it's such a fun element to the song.
It is. It's fun.
So Jack modulated her singing voice using synth plugins. He said that it was the first time he'd used such devices in music production.
So cool.
Of course.
Yeah, I know, for real. They're just, Taylor's like, and I want this. And he's
Can you imagine?
I've never done that before, but okay.
Kaylee Dance or whatever. The girl that does the videos where she's like, Jack says this and Taylor says this, and the making of the song. I could totally see she should do, if she hasn't, a video like this where she's like, Jack, I want to do something new. He's like, oh, cool, what? He's like,
no, but when you did that, I totally saw
picture her literally. It. Yeah. It's
okay.
Can you make me sound like a man? And he's like, I've never done that before, but I'll figure it out.
It's so true.
It would be so funny. And then it shows her, Kaylee, being Taylor Swift singing, and it's a girl. She sounds like a man. I don't know. I'm gonna.
Okay, we've got to tell her.
All of you send her this.
Yes.
And tell her that this is a fun.
We came up with a new idea for her because it would just go viral.
Yes,
absolutely.
Maybe we can collaborate with her on it. I think, does she live here?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think.
I at least know she saw Sabrina Carpenter here.
Yes. Well, that's
but
why
I don't know if she traveled here for it or she lives
here. Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll find out. That sounded creepy though. We'll find out.
We'll find
out when she lives. And now she's not going to collaborate with us, and she's going to avoid us. Okay, track number 7 is Question. This was one I think I talked about last week. It was one of my initial favorites. Yeah. I remember telling my sister oh, I really like Question. And she's like, it was kind of weird. And I was like,
you're like, that's why I like it. You're like, I I'm not going to hop on the Bejeweled train.
Yeah. Boo.
Karma? What a question.
Because it is really weird. It is really weird. I will give people that. But maybe that's why, is because it feels really memorable to me because it was so different.
Yeah.
But I love this fun fact. A crowd can be heard clapping on the part that says, like, did you ever have someone kiss you in a crowded room and every single one of your friends were making fun of you, but 15 seconds later they were clapping too? Those are her actual friends clapping. What? So cool.
Again.
Yeah.
Hey friends, so I'm making a song and I need people clapping, but I want them to be my actual friends clapping. Can you guys all come to the studio and just like clap for like 20 seconds?
So here's the people that clapped. You ready?
Wait, you even know
yes,
who?
I found out who. Yes. So fun. Wouldn't be the typical Tuesday night podcast if we didn't actually know all the info. So if you go to the album's credits, that's where you can like find it. So
she even credited them.
Yeah, she's like,
I'll make it worth your time. Yeah. I'll credit you. You'll get royalties.
Oh my gosh, that would be funny. Just for clapping. Okay, so it was Jack's sister Rachel, her brother Austin, and Dylan O'Brien. Who Dylan must have been like already there because he's like doing the drums on multiple songs. And Austin must have just been like, I guess, hanging out. Like, how often does Austin hang out with her while they...
Hey, Austin, I need you. It makes me happy to hear that he was, like, part of that, because I feel like Austin's always been, like, a mystery.
Yeah, 100%.
And we don't see a lot of him or hear about a lot of him, but
yeah.
I feel like we've known, like, in the past that they, like, seem close. And you kind of wonder what it's like to be, like, Taylor Swift's only other sibling.
I know.
And, like, if that's weird. But, like, seeing how many, like, Chiefs games he goes to with her. And also, like, I don't remember who it was, but he was, like, close to Joe's, like, friend or, like, Joe's brother or something. Like, I remember, like, he was involved with that. So it seems like they're still really close.
Which I think is really cool.
I love that.
Yes, absolutely. And this song also contains a vocal sample of Taylor's Out of the Woods track. And I did not realize this, but this sample usage won an award at the iHeartRadio Music Awards in 2023. They do an award for favorite use of a sample. Like, I had no idea that was even an award.
That up for?
They probably did.
Question.
They were like, so this is a cool song. We should probably give it an award. So favorite use of sample? Cool. And we'll give it to Taylor. Does anybody else sample their own songs?
That's so funny.
But yeah, really cool.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we are going to take a quick ad break to share today's podcast sponsor, Clean Simple Eats.
Yep.
We love them.
I've been itching.
I know. You were like, hey, when are we going to talk about Clean Simple Eats?
We need another Clean Simple Eats ad because I have to give an update.
Yes. Okay, let's hear it.
If you don't know, or if you forgot, and when we've talked about Clean Simple Eats before, we've talked a lot about their protein powder, which both of us have used for a really long time.
Yes.
But I haven't used mine like crazy regularly because I typically use it like I make like a full-on shake where it's like adding a lot of ingredients, like plus the protein powder. And Carly talks about how she drinks just like a classic protein drink where she's just adding the powder to the milk. And I'm like, I've honestly never really given that a go.
Shot,
and that's so much easier and so much faster.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm gonna give it a go. Oh my gosh.
Life changed, right?
It's probably been like over 2 weeks since I started, and I literally have it every single day.
Woo-woo.
Every single day.
Protein, girl.
Every day. The brownie batter.
It's so good.
In milk.
Yes.
It's so fast. I drink it up so fast because it's so yummy. Yeah. And it's like what, 17, 20 grams?
I think it's 20 grams of protein. Yeah.
It's so...
Which is awesome.
And I love it because like I'll put it in my shaker bottle and I'll like drink it on my way to like drop my daughter off at school or whatever. Easy. And I literally have had it every day. It's so yummy. Yes. But I've mostly just tried the chocolate. But I did get some like
other flavors.
Samples of other flavors. And I'm gonna try them on camera to like show you, a taste test.
Perfect. That'll be so fun. Yes. Well, and I'll kind of talk about this a little bit later, but Kyle got a Ninja Creamy for Christmas, and we've been using that to make protein ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
It's been really good. We tried the chocolate brownie. The banana Foster one was really good. We did like some hot fudge over it and some like nuts. It was really good. And I was like, I'm getting my protein while I'm eating ice cream.
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing.
That is so nice.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted on that too.
Yum. So anyways, I already was a fan. And just
now you're a bigger fan.
Now I'm an even bigger fan, having an enhanced experience, which is just literally pouring the powder in milk.
I'm so glad though, because it is so easy.
It's
so easy and it's so good.
So we do have a discount code with Clean Simple Eats, and it's TTN10 for 10% off your purchase at cleansimpleeats.com. We'll link that in the show notes for you. And yeah, TTN10.
So easy.
Yep.
Love it.
Okay, so next we have track 8, Vigilante Shit. Our Scooter Braun track.
Yep. Boo.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
We are calling it.
Braun track. Obviously the Eras Tour dance
classic
is super fun, and critics have highlighted it as like a total standout moment.
Oh, at 100%.
Oh my gosh, that first night.
Oh,
blown away.
Yes.
Obsessed. Yes. Totally different than any other part of the 3.5 hour show.
And
anything she's ever done.
Yes.
And I just will never forget after that first night, so many people are like making comments of like, I might like swing both ways now, or like, I don't like girls, but I like Taylor, you know, like stuff like that. But also I do remember, because this was like before the Joe news came out.
Oh,
and people were like commenting like, hope you can fight Joe, like people are gonna be like, you know, because she's so hot, hope you can fight him off, basically. But like, they were already broken up.
They didn't need to.
Yeah. So anyways, and it's the only track from the standard version that she wrote alone, which I did not know.
I think it's cool.
And I think we said this last week, but like the Midnight's album, she said, was about like obviously sleepless nights, and she also specifically said there are tracks about like fantasizing revenge. And this is that track.
This is it.
Because, you know, she'll talk about like, I mean, this will probably be part of our deep dive, but when she talks about like the whole like working with the wife and stuff that, I think that's like something she fantasized, and like a Scooter Braun takedown.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I would love to know what goes on in her head.
Yeah.
To like get to this point.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
I know. It's so great. The song is 2 minutes and 44 seconds, and it's the shortest track on the standard edition of the album. Okay. So
track 9 is Bejeweled, and that has a music video too, which has a ton of stuff to talk about. So we will eventually get to that as well. Yes. And the song won the iHeartRadio Music Award in 2023 for TikTok Bop of the Year.
Yes.
So
well deserved.
Yes, absolutely.
And then I'm going to throw something in. If you don't know, her little dance that she does on the Eras tour, where she spins and does her little like jazz fingers. She got that a guy on TikTok like made up like literally a TikTok dance and like made up that move, and then she used it on the Eras tour. And I remember after the first night, everyone online was like freaking out that she used his dance.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
No.
Oh my gosh.
No.
And
I really
at his show he got the 22 hat.
Yeah, which was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
so fun. Okay, next we're gonna talk about Labyrinth.
What do you think about this one?
Track 10.
Talking about what we think.
Yeah, how we feel. I mean, I feel like all the ones we've talked about, I like them.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Don't really skip them. You're on Your Own Kid's a favorite. Midnight Rain, I like. Maybe sometimes I skip it, but it just depends on my mood. Question, I never skip. Vigilante Shit, sometimes I skip. Just depending on my mood.
Yeah.
Bejeweled, love it. Labyrinth.
Honestly, Labyrinth's
it's kind of a skip.
Yeah, it's not one of my favorites.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I have to be in a very specific mood. You know?
Like if I'm listening to the album front to back, I don't skip it. Like it's not one that I'm just like, ugh. A lot of times I'll still skip Snow on the Beach.
Yeah.
But like Labyrinth's still not one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, eh.
So the lyrics are about anxiety caused by a new romantic beginning. She tries to control her anxiety, breathe in, breathe through, breathe deep, breathe out. And didn't we say that's one of the lyrics that she used on like the billboards to like promote
I think so.
the album?
Yeah.
Like across the world.
I think so, yeah.
But this lyric had also been recited in her commencement speech at the NYU like ceremony where she got her degree several months earlier, which is
like
fun.
It's cool to be like, oh, she said that, and then I wonder. I didn't either, but I wonder if she said that already having that song written, or if she said that and was like, I love that line, I need to write a song about that.
I bet it was an Easter egg.
Ooh,
just so fun.
Love it. Okay, track 11 is Karma. And in an interview with Zane Loy on Apple Music's New Music Daily, she said, so one of the themes about Midnights is how you're feeling in the middle of the night. And that can be intense self-hatred. You go through these very polarizing emotions when you're up late at night and your brain just spirals. It can spiral downward or it can spiral way up and you can just be really feeling yourself. And Karma is written from a perspective of feeling like really happy, really proud of the way your life is, feeling like this must be a reward for doing stuff right. It's a song that I really love because I think we all need some of those moments. You know, we can't just be beating ourselves up all the time. You have to have these moments where you're like, you know what? Karma is my boyfriend and that's it. I love it. I love that quote.
That.
I know. It's
Karma
so fun.
is a cat.
Yeah. Like
Karma is a guy on the Chiefs.
Pointing to our shirts.
Chiefs.
Coming straight home to me. Winning the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
We've talked about this, but she did a remix with Ice Spice, and this also has a music video. So we'll talk about that later too.
So fun. Okay, track 12 is Sweet Nothing. She wrote this song with William Bowery. And yeah.
That's This is also a song. Oh, I really like Karma.
I love Karma, and I actually like Sweet Nothing.
Do you really?
I do.
It's one that I probably like it better than Labyrinth and Snow on the Beach, but it's still one that I don't know. It just doesn't hit me.
It's one that if it comes on, I don't skip it, but I don't also
reach for it.
Yeah, I don't reach for it.
That one's one that kind of like depends on my mood. Yeah. Sometimes I do skip it. But. Track 13 is Mastermind, which I just think is the perfect one to be track 13. She revealed with a Time journalist that she was inspired to write the song after watching the 2017 film Phantom Thread. It's really interesting to me how many times she says, I watched this movie and it made me like write this song.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But always they're like shows that I've never heard of, or like movies. Like,
but also
too cultured for me.
We've like talked about how like she probably reads like so many books and like watches so many films, but also I'm like, when are you doing that?
When do you have time?
When are you doing that?
For reals though. Yeah. There was a TikTok trend that did you hear about this? I did not remember this. So there was a TikTok trend where people would share their embarrassing relationship stories and how they like basically unconsciously got their partner to ask them out on a date. And then the song would play in the background. So I found 2 of those TikTok stories that I just feel like we have to share because I would feel like those would be fun. Great. So fun. Okay. Yes. So this is TikToker Lissy Lulu. And she says, I found this band on Spotify that I love so much that I listened to their songs 50 times a day for a month. And then I thought, hey, the singer's voice sounds raspy and hot. And I looked him up and he was my dream man. So I shamelessly played one of his songs on the background of my stories, tagged them. He messaged me about it and we planned a date. So I memorized every word to all his songs and made very slight references to them on the date, even though I told him I didn't really know anything about his music, and now we've been dating for 2 years.
It's so funny because as soon as you read her handle, I was like, wait, I know who this girl is.
I thought so too.
Yes. So I don't know her personally.
Yes, but I know I've seen her handle.
I used to work at a company called Albion Fit, and she used to model for them.
Right? Okay, yes. That is so funny because when I saw it, I was like, I know. I'm pretty sure she's local, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know at one point she lived in Hawaii.
Okay,
but maybe, she might be from
here, but she's like around, like she's in this like Utah circle to the point that I do think she lived in.
That is so funny.
That's so funny though, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, there's one more. This one said, when he posted on his stories asking for book recommendations. So I DM'd him a list of 20 books, but I included all, I love this, all his favorite books to impress him, even though I hadn't read them. I only knew of them from stalking his Instagram. Then he asked me on a date in August, and I brought him a book to borrow because I knew it would guarantee a second date and keep me on his mind until Thanksgiving break. And now we're married. I love it. Isn't that so fun?
That's amazing.
I'm just like, so there's like a ton of stories.
I'm sure.
You can like just Google like Mastermind TikTok trend, and there's like a ton, but those were like two of my favorites.
That is
isn't
so
that fun?
Good.
I know.
I
love it.
Obsessed with that. That's so fun. Okay, next we're going to talk about the Great War, and this is the start of the bonus tracks. So it references World War I as an analogy of heartbreak, and it's a mashup with When You're Losing Me, June 4th. Oh, it's just mashed up with You're Losing Me, June 14th, 2024 Eras Tour, which
I just like that's
a dagger.
And I feel like that says a lot about what the Great War is about.
Well, and the Great War was a song when we did
our Joe
Alwyn deep dive that we were like mind blown over.
Yes.
I don't know. Connected a lot of dots.
Yes.
So then when she bashed it up with You're Losing Me.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
And then in 2024, Taylor included The Great War as the first track of her Apple Music playlist named Am I Allowed to Cry? And she introduced by saying, like, these are the songs I've written when I was in the bargaining stage, times when you know you're trying to make deals with yourself or someone that you care about. You're trying to make things better. You oftentimes feeling really desperate because oftentimes we have a sort of gut intuition that tells us things are not going to go the way we hope, which makes us more desperate, which makes us bargain more.
I'm like, that is so sad.
It is so sad.
Oh,
so sad.
But like, because we've talked about the Great War before, that quote, I was like, oh yeah, that fits.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it more again later, but
yeah.
Oh, poor Taylor.
I know. Okay, so we're going to take another quick ad break.
Yes.
To talk about something we're like over the moon about.
So excited.
We have a new podcast sponsor, which is Fazit.
I mean, I know everybody here has heard of them, but so cool.
Yes.
That we get to like have them be a sponsor. So if you guys don't know though, Fazit is a beauty company that specializes in makeup patches. They're so fun. And Taylor Swift wore the glitter freckle makeup patches to a Chiefs game and literally broke the internet.
Yes.
It's wild. Ugh.
And yeah, we get to work with them, which I don't even think they have like a full-on affiliate program.
Yeah, like it's so cool.
And so it's really fun that we get to work with them and we totally get a discount code for you guys.
Which also was a big deal.
Yes.
Like they don't do this frequently.
Like you can't, some companies you can go and find like a ton of discount codes from like different people. Yeah. But this is a really special discount code for you guys.
Which is so cool.
I know. So the discount code is TTM15 and you get 15% off. Yeah. So you can match with Taylor.
Yes. And us, because we're so excited.
We're going to be wearing them hopefully at Haler Night on Saturday. So we'll show you guys. We're so excited.
So fun.
Yes.
Okay, so track 15 is Bigger Than the Whole Sky. November 19th, 2023, Taylor performed this song live at the Eras Tour concert in Brazil following the death of Ana Clara Benavides. So I just thought, I mean, that was so sad, but what a perfect song to kind of like wrap up and remember her.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I remember with this song is it brought about a ton of miscarriage rumors.
Yeah.
Which I think was hard. Like a lot of people were just like, oh my gosh, does she have a miscarriage? Does she have a miscarriage? Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes people forget that she can write songs about other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are this is like the perfect example of it could be about miscarriage. It could be about her own miscarriage. It could be about someone she knows who had a miscarriage. Yeah. It's not our business to know if she had a miscarriage. Yeah. And obviously, like we say, we love to speculate here on the podcast. There's like boundaries. And I think sometimes a lot of times those boundaries get blurry. Yes. And people like take things a little too far. So like if you want to have the thought like, oh my gosh, if she had a miscarriage, like that's so sad. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Yeah. But to like when people like fight online about it. Yes. Or they like try to do like a little bit too much digging. Yes. To try to like
put it so out there online. It's like that can be something like, that you keep in your head.
Not necessary. Yes.
Well, and I remember hearing a lot of people say there's no way she wrote this song unless she had a miscarriage because you don't understand what that feels like unless you've been through it. Mm-hmm. But then I'd seen the opposite perspective too of saying like she wrote Ronan. Yeah. And like that song, like she's never been through that. Mm-mm. And that song is so powerful and so sad. And I feel so like it's so spot on that like I think she could.
I do too.
Have written a song about this from maybe talking about a friend and their experience. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, it could maybe not be about miscarriage. Yeah. Like we have no idea. So it does fit really well for that. But
yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, some things people just need to keep in their head. We don't need to like spread rumors about that kind of stuff. So. Yes.
And how do you feel about, I guess we didn't say the Great War or.
Oh, I mean, I was always like iffy about the Great War. Not iffy, but like it was like a good song until we like deep dove it and was like, oh my gosh, Joe and her and this fight about like if you haven't listened to our Joe Alwyn deep dive, you should. Like it's a really fun episode, but it made me change. I love the Great War. Like sometimes I even like will search for it now. Yeah. And then I actually really like Bigger Than the Whole Sky.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Our next song is track 16, which is Paris, which as soon as I heard the song, I fell in love with the song.
Such a good one.
I love it. It's so fun. It's just like such a fun vibe, especially because I feel like a lot of Midnight songs are a little bit more down.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a bright spot,
yes,
you know?
100%.
So I love it. And you guys, we found out the craziest thing about the song. Like, we are not over it.
What?
Like, today, we found out about the craziest thing about the song.
Well, it's so funny because I found a ton of facts, like at least 3 or 4 about every single one of these songs, except for Paris.
Could not find anything.
And I texted you like a week ago, like, do you know any fun facts about Paris? Like, I have looked everywhere, and you're like, I don't know, but I can maybe come up with something. So then we were here, we didn't have anything, and I was like, well, let's just listen to it. Mm-hmm. And like maybe something will spark a thought. So I pulled it up on Spotify and I pressed play. You can take it away.
And Carly was like, wait, I swear that she was like trying to think of how she used to like, or how she sings it.
Spot, yeah.
Basically, on Spotify and a lot of lyric sites, they actually have the lyrics wrong.
What?
Which is crazy. Like, I can't believe Spotify is wrong.
I know.
She says,
stumble down
pretend alleys. But it sounds like she says stumble down pretend alleyways, cheap wine. But if you look at Taylor Swift's official lyric video on YouTube, she actually says stumble down pretend alleys.
Pause.
Waste cheap wine. Not alleyways. Cheap wine. It's alleys. Waste cheap wine.
Like that, when I saw that on Spotify, I was like, wait, that's weird. Because that's not how I sang it. Because she does have a pause.
Yeah.
Like pretend alleys. Waste. But when you listen to it and you read the way like alleyways on Spotify, it like still makes sense. I was just like, oh, that's weird that I never got that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's wrong on Spotify most lyric like sources. It's wrong. But if you go to her actual YouTube lyric video,
it's crazy.
It shows
And that's why
different.
I'm like, and apparently I can only trust the lyric videos.
Yep.
I thought
straight from the source, which I've always considered Spotify as like they get their
basically
straight from the source, but
guess not.
Apparently not.
Guess not.
So crazy.
Track 17 is High Infidelity. I really like the song.
I love this.
Yes. And it says, she played this song on April 29th on the Eras Tour because it talks about, do you really want to know where I was April 29th? I always loved this song because of that date, because that's my husband's birthday.
It is?
Yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh, Kyle, guess what?
Funny.
Taylor talks about your birthday in Midnights. He's like, oh, that's really cool.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and we've talked about this a little bit before, but this song is believed to be about Calvin Harris. So we'll talk about that a little bit more later too.
Except for I officially think it's about Matty.
Oh yeah, you do. Really? That's right. And I forgot that we
had talked about it, and then she blew my freaking mind because she mashed it up with like a clear as day Matty Healy song, and I can't remember which one it was for the life of me.
We posted about it.
We did, and I literally was on the floor because it was pretty shortly after we had discussed it, and I was on the floor. It might have been fresh out of the slammer, honestly. I literally
we forgot about that.
Lost it. So we will discuss.
We will discuss later. I'm still pretty team Calvin Harris.
Yeah.
But I do remember that song, and you like texted me being like, oh my gosh, maybe Jess is right.
I don't know.
We'll have a battle. Actually, I don't know if I could like.
You guys can vote. We'll plead our cases.
There we go.
And then you can vote on.
That's actually like a fun like series idea.
Yeah.
It's like if we both had a different opinion on a song.
Yeah. And we like
took it to court, basically. You guys are our audience, our jury.
Yes.
That's fun.
That is fun. We got to write that down. I love when we come up with ideas.
Like on the episode.
Yeah. Okay. 18. We have Glitch, which is super fun.
Yeah.
On Spotify, this song uses the same visuals and canvases from Wildest Dreams Taylor's version, which is super interesting.
Yeah. It's like, why?
Yeah. It's unknown if this is on purpose or like coincidental.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's on purpose.
I know. When I saw that, I was like, that's weird.
Yeah. That's super
I don't know what it means, but I'm just going to include it because it's weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, maybe one day we'll know.
Yeah. The lyric video's theme is based on Blood Moon, which is also mentioned in the lyrics of the song. One of the alternative versions of Midnights is called Blood Moon. The Blood Moon edition. The song is the shortest song on Midnights as a whole. And it's the shortest song Taylor had ever released before Now We Don't Talk. Now That We Don't Talk. It's 2 minutes and 28 seconds long. And it's a good one.
It's good.
2,190 days. That people and that's have tried to loop in as an Easter egg so many times.
For reals, one day. Well, it's because originally we were just like, oh, that's like how long Taylor and Joe dated. Yeah, it's like a 6-year relationship.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting.
Yep.
19, which I also think is perfect that it's 19.
Mm-hmm.
But would have, could have, should have.
That's got to be intentional.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Pretty sure this is a John Mayer song. Mm-hmm. I would be shocked if it was not.
Yeah.
But I love this song. This was also one of my immediate like favorites, and I was just like, oh man, this is why I love the bonus track so much.
It's like almost, it's like kind of ominous. It's just like and really like moody and I don't know. It's a good one.
And like it's like
haunting.
You took my girlhood. That's what it was mine first.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, that line.
Yeah. You just like feel, even though like you're not her in the experience that she's experienced, but like you feel for her like so deeply in this song.
Yes. Oh yeah. And it's really interesting because it's all about like using religious imagery to describe like her reflection on pretty traumatic loss of like during her adolescence and like growing up. And such a hard, because like, I mean, she was 19. It's like you're barely out of like high school, but you're like feeling like an adult, so you want to do adult things, but like you're still not. Oh, what a time. What a time.
So next we have track 20, which is Dear Reader. What do you think about Dear Reader?
Eh.
Yeah, I feel
it's like one that
Dear Reader, people either like love it or they skip it. For me, it's kind of a skip.
Yeah, it's just like I've never. Yeah, I just haven't grasped it. It like hasn't grabbed me, I guess. I don't know. Anyway.
So she first performed Dear Reader on February 7th, 2024 in Tokyo and played it on the guitar for a surprise song. It was her first show after she'd won Album of the Year at the Grammys for cool. Midnights. And before playing the song, she said, so I really wanted to just overdo the thank yous for everything you've done for the Midnights album and how much you've cared about this album to the point where obviously what happened a couple days ago happened. It's only because of you and how much you supported it. And it wasn't just Midnights that came out. There was a 3 a.m. edition of that album that came out, and there's a song on that I've never played live before. It's called Dear Reader. So
boom. Really interesting that that's what she picked to like sing as her like thank you.
Yeah.
Like, why not Maroon and You're on Your Own Kid mashup?
Yeah. I think Dear Reader is special to her.
Yeah.
And like we've talked about, like there's songs that she has that like what we typically say is we love it for her.
Yes.
Like we don't necessarily like connect to it super well, but like we love it for her. And I feel like that's one of those songs.
Totally.
So fun. And then she did, this was the one that we talked about where she we talked about it in our Errors Tour episode where she didn't acknowledge it, so we don't know if it was like on purpose or not, but she did change the lyrics in the bridge when she was singing. She said, these restless tears of a cursed man instead of these desperate prayers of a cursed man. And we kind of talked about how like maybe those were two versions of the song and she just like mixed them up, or maybe it was an intentional switch. I don't know. It's kind of a mystery. So
we'll never know. Or maybe we will.
Maybe.
We will.
Probably not. But.
And then 21, You're Losing Me. It was the longest song on the album.
It is.
Yeah, being 4 minutes and 37 seconds.
Wow, that's long.
Yeah, it really is.
It doesn't feel that long because you're just feeling it.
For reals, though. For reals. Jack posted a picture to his Instagram stories, the infamous
never
Instagram
forget the
story.
raisins.
Yeah. Of Taylor wearing a sweater, eating raisins in a kitchen, with we assume is a bottle of wine, and his caption is, You're Losing Me is out today, a very special track from the Midnight Session that's finally streaming, written and recorded at home on 12/5/21, right after Taylor ate these raisins.
Iconic.
100% iconic.
Yeah.
Do you think he asked Taylor if he could post that?
Yeah.
I thought so too. Do you think they talked like about like, hey, you should post this date? It's going to tell a lot of people about.
Probably. Because like why? And they've never really done that before.
They rarely, yes.
Like, because you could literally post that exact same post, leave out the date. The date's unnecessary.
Yep.
But they chose to include it.
That's, And to me, that right there, that whole post gives us so much context on the Taylor and Joe relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it like honestly changed everything. I feel like it changed our thoughts on Folklore and Evermore, Midnights in general.
Mm-hmm. And going back to what we talked about at the very beginning, like Julissa's theories, like where she was saying like she thinks she was going back and forth from like New York to London a lot, and like she was going to New York, she was writing music with Jack to try to like process her feelings. That is literally this
song. Oh, 100%.
And I also feel like You're Losing Me is such obviously like a painful song.
Yeah.
And I feel like it told us the most about the end of like people are like we said before, people are so caught up in like still thinking Tortured Poets is about Joe because they're like it's like they think that Joe didn't get like his breakup song, like she didn't like talk about it. It's like You're Losing Me. I mean, like there's more than You're Losing Me that tells us a little more insight into it, but like You're Losing Me is an almost 5-minute song that's like really paints a pretty clear picture that it was like a long, slow, painful death. And I do wonder if posting the date helped like feed the correct narrative of like
what's coming.
This was a long, slow, painful death. Like I wrote this extremely painful song about a relationship. We didn't end for almost 2 years. No, a year and a half. And I was feeling this way like a year and a half before. Like it was a hard and long breakup.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it tells us, everything.
Yeah.
And I think that was all on purpose. I almost could see her
having the idea.
Like saying, Jack, like, what do you think
about...
Because,
she's not gonna...
No, she's not going to be like, remember when I posted or I, wrote this song on 12/5 when
and ate raisins at Jack's house? Yeah.
Oh, man. But and I think, it's just because that time when he posted that, she was in the middle of probably writing Tortured Poets.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure she was like, we need to give some context here.
Yeah.
What's coming? Whew, that song. Okay, the song was only available on CD sold at the Eras Tour shows and then her official website store starting on May 26th. And then it was officially released to streaming services such as Spotify on November 29th, 2023. So we had to wait.
It was a glorious day.
Yeah, about 6 months. It was a glorious day.
Took a long time to get that one.
Yeah.
Okay, and then our last one is Hits Different.
Such a good one.
I love that song so much. Oh, it's so good. It was a bonus track on the Lavender edition that was available at Target. And Taylor, Jack, and Aaron wrote it together. Maybe that's why I love it.
I was literally, it was when I saw that,
trio.
I was like, oh,
it has a little bit of all of them.
Ooh, and it's so good.
It's so good.
And I see the vibes of all three of them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a mix.
Oh,
I'm like, I love it. Can you guys just like work more, all three of you together?
I'm obsessed.
I love it.
Obsessed with that song.
Oh, so fun. So don't worry. We are going to be coming back and like discussing these more in terms of like the relationship and Taylor and kind of doing similar to how we
analyzing the lyrics.
Yeah, Tortured Poets, like really getting into the lyrics and like what the songs are about. So you'll want to stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, you're going to want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So fun.
Okay. Well, like Carly said, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. You don't want to miss. We have a lot to go over we're just scratching the surface. Yes. Like literally that's all we've done.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing.
Scratch the surface.
Supposed to just be like little things to know.
Yes. For midnight. Mm-hmm. So much more to come. Yeah. And if you're enjoying this, share it with your friends too.
For reals.
But yeah, you can subscribe Spotify, Apple, Amazon, anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
And
like
also, did you hear?
We're on YouTube. What?
Subscribe.
You on YouTube?
Subscribe on YouTube, please.
Do. And then get ready because next week, after the Super Bowl, we're going to do our news roundup. It's going to be so good because we are going to be discussing the Grammys. Mm-hmm. We're going to be discussing the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Taylor had some great things happen the last few weeks. So we're going to be talking all about that. So you're definitely going to want to not miss that.
Yes. And if you've been on our Patreon, you've been hearing all of our Grammy thoughts. So that episode's going to be super fun. If you're anxious to hear our Grammy thoughts early, become a Patreon subscriber because we are going to be like a day or two after the Grammys, going to be recording and releasing a Patreon episode
exclusively about
the Grammys. Yeah.
So if you don't want to wait, which you shouldn't want to wait, like you're going to want to know our thoughts immediately.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to want to
wait. I'm saying this, and the Grammys. When you hear this, the Grammys will have happened.
Oh yeah,
we will probably have recorded. So the episode will either come out the day before this episode comes out or the day after. So
sign up for Patreon. Go see our Grammy thoughts. Okay. Well, today was so fun. We always love discussing Taylor's music, and I can't wait to like dive into these songs more. Yeah. I think it's gonna be really fun, especially because after listening to Midnights the last 2 years and like researching Joe and Taylor's relationship more, these songs really hit different. So it's coming. It's coming.
So fun.
Okay, see you next week, guys.
Bye.